Hi, my name is Nicole Heinzelman, and I'm Head of Adult Services at the Winter Park Public Library. Today I'll be showing you how to use Heritage Quest Online, another of our genealogy research tools. Last week I took you through Ancestry Library, and you'll discover that it's very complementary to this database for a couple of reasons. Mostly that they are run by the same company, which is ProQuest. ProQuest is the company that makes these databases available to libraries. So a lot of the searching capabilities are going to be the same. This is a database that you can use from home, from the convenience of your home, or here in the library. And keep in mind that everything I go over today, you can easily review through one of the attachments for this class, the handout, and also some helpful tables and comparisons between the two databases. This database not only offers information about the census, but also gets you into some family history, book collections, city directories, military records, the Freedmen's Bank, serial sets, and more. So let's start searching. To get access, you need to go to our website, which is right up there, and then scroll down the research and study page to find Heritage Quest. And if you're at home, you're going to have to type in your library card number, and then you should get to this screen. So right across the top, we see three categories: search, research aids, and maps. And I'll be hovering over search and then opening the research aids screen. And this is helpful if you're just getting started in your project. Gets you background information and beyond the basics. On the maps screen, you can click on a state to see how it may have changed over time. Very interactive. But on this first screen, let's continue looking down, and that button might look familiar. It's the same begin searching button that we saw in Ancestry, and it takes you to that very busy page. We're going to leave that page and go back to the main home screen. We'll continue exploring the page. There is the section for the census, both US and Canadian, and then we have four categories. These categories we saw on the previous screen, but these appear to be the most popular ones that people use. So let's look at the census records. A lot of us are familiar with that, and you'll see that the latest set is from 1940. For those curious, the 1950 census records will be available on April 1st of 2022. It's scheduled for release from the National Archives, and this schedule is known as the 72-year rule. It mandates that the federal census returns are kept confidential until 72 years after the census to which they pertain. So we have something to look forward to. So you can begin searching that by clicking on a year, or in this case, I'm just going to click on View All so we can get to the next screen. And let's practice our first search. Let's look for Thomas Jefferson. Let's go ahead and type in his name in the pertinent boxes. And let's pretend that we happen to have a particular year, 1810, that we want to search in. And we want to add the county where he resided. And then be careful to click on the exact boxes there, just to make our search much more specific, and then click on search. So the next screen will show two records for Jefferson in Albemarle County. Pardon me for mispronouncing that. Those are the bars that we can use to make our results more exact. However, I think two is pretty good. So if we hover over that, we'll see an image that shows some information. It's kind of hard to read. So if I click on that, we're going to get bigger font, much easier for us to read with the basic information contained in there. And you can click on Send Document to email it to yourself. You will see the similarities between this and Ancestry Library. Click on View to see the census, and this particular census document is so old it is very hard to read, but we can just make out his name. It's very difficult to read the numbers and to even find out what categories those numbers pertain to. There is the option to save it and expand it. Lots of tools you can tinker around with. But I'm going to take you back to, let's see. Oh yes, this is the capability to flip it around, rotate it, and to even invert the colors. Although in this case, that does not seem to help us that much. But it's still good that you know how to do that. let's go back, and if we click on View Blank Form, that's where we can find out what are the categories that that are filled out in that census form. We can zoom in on that. So all of those mysterious numbers correspond with these categories. And there is the citation, the census roll that it was taken from. So let's go back home and let's try another search. Let's look for Abraham Lincoln this time. So back on the home screen. And in the Search U.S. Census box, which is further down, there you go. This time, let's click on Search Now. And we'll type in Abraham and Lincoln. And then in the year, under the Any Event box and year, after we type in his spouse, Mary, we're going to type in the year 1850 and then also include the location of Springfield, Sangamon, Illinois, because that is where he resided when this particular census was taken. Okay. Wow, there's about 1,500 or so results, so we can definitely narrow those, make them more exact by moving those bars, and you'll discover that sometimes your mouse can get caught up in that, but I am persevering and making these results more exact. Being very careful to click on the green update button, very important to do. And there is one result, so let's click on that. And we'll click on View. Yes, we see his household members, and then we can click on View. After Send Document, there you go. And we'll need to scroll about 2/3 of the way down the screen before we see his name, and someone was nice enough to even put a little arrow marking his name on the census, just in case we couldn't find it right away. So there he is, Attorney at Law. There you go. All right, so let's go back. Here are some basic census searching tips that I will share with you before we move on to the books collection. You can try using middle names or nicknames for their given names instead. You can also try searching without a given name and then filtering your results by location, gender, and age. And occasionally, census takers only recorded initials in place of the given name. Okay, so the next tool I want to show you how to use is the books collection. The books collection comprises family and local history content spanning 5 centuries, and it includes 13,000 plus histories and more. So let's go ahead down to Search Books and then click on Search Now. And we'll look for Senator Robert Taft. So we'll type in his name. We happen to know his middle initial is A, and we're going to type in Ohio for location. And then further down, there's a keyword box, and in that box, we will type Senator, and then click on Search just below that. So we get a fair number of results on the next screen, over 200. So remember that we do have the capability to narrow the results. But in this case, I found one right away that I was interested in. It's the 6th result. It is Boys Grown Tall, a story of American initiative. So when we open up that entry, it's part of a book, and we will move our mouse around the screen so that we can move that document down for us to read. And they have very helpfully highlighted where Senator Robert A. Taft appears in that. Now to go back a screen, we're going to use that back arrow, and this time we're going to search for place histories, and I think I'm going to make a minor error here, but I will learn from it. Under Search Books, let's go back and click on Search Now. And you'll notice that I will start typing in the location of New Jersey and begin a search, only to discover that I needed to do something else first. That is very important. So I received no results. Okay, so I'm going to go back. There must have been something that I missed here. So here I am trying to figure out what I did. Let's go back. Go back and search now, and then I discovered, aha, I need to click on publications at the top of the screen. For Senator Robert Taft, I was searching for people, which is the default, and when searching for place histories near the top, I need to click on publications. That was my mistake. So I'm glad I finally caught that. In the location, that is where I type New Jersey and then submit. I'll click on the very first result, 100 years on the North Shrewsbury. And there's a table of contents. You can click on any of those links to open up that particular section. And there we are, right there, opening up to the part about the carnival, including an advertisement that was out back in the day. So going back, I'll share some tips for searching the book collection. Don't forget to use wildcards like asterisk or question marks in the middle or end of names. I think I talked about that when we researched Ancestry Library. So that's a quick tip to go over. And now let's look at the city directory. So let's go back to search books. And this time I remembered to click on city directories. So let's search for Winter Park and let's see what they have for Winter Park city directories. We do have plenty of those in print here in our archives, so you can make an appointment to visit them, or you can look them up right here through Heritage Quest. So there are a lot of results. There you go. So I'm just going to click on one, go down the screen, randomly choose a record to click on and open. Basic information, and then you can view the actual directory page. There you go, and that's what it looked like back in that particular year for that entry. Okay, so moving on, I want to share with you the tool to get information about Revolutionary War era records. The Revolutionary War pension and bounty land warrant application files. There we go. They contain around 80,000 application files from officers and enlisted men who served in the military during the wars. And the government provided pensions in 3 categories: disability invalid, widow's pensions, and bounty land warrants. So let's begin searching and find out a little bit about a widow and her search for some assistance. So we're going to type in William Henry and type in the location of Virginia. The second result will yield a widow's pension application record filed by William's widow, Elizabeth. It's 43 pages, and it contains documents about Mr. Henry's service, who enlisted as a private in Virginia in 1776, and he served for 2 years. His pension was issued in 1832 and retained until he died in 1835. Elizabeth eventually applied and was granted the widow's pension in 1839 until her death in 1847. So that's a little peek into one of the many military records, Revolutionary War pension records you have access to. All right, moving on, we're going to look at the Freedmen's Bank records. The Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company began in 1865 by an act signed by President Lincoln. Its purpose was to create a bank where former slaves and their dependents could place and save their money. The original bank was headquartered in New York and later moved to Washington, D.C. So this index contains signatures of depositors and more. So let's begin a basic search, and we're going to type in the name William Gentry, Gentry. It's all we're typing in, and then we will click on search. And it should yield one result. He was born in Tennessee. So let's click on that, and you can view on there what his occupation was, how many brothers and sisters, and any other remarks that might have been recorded. You'll see me trying to find him on here. There are more names on here than I had thought there would be, but he's in there. And then I finally do find him. There he is on the top row. There he is, getting there. Aha! Okay, so that is an example of what you can find in the Freedmen's Bank records. Moving on, let's take a look at the serial set. This is another tool that contains unique materials published in serial form from the Senate and House of Representatives. Let's see, it contains hand-selected sources from private relief actions and memorial petitions. So let's go down there and we'll click on Search Now, and we'll look for a gentleman named Cobb Nichols, C-O-B-B, and then Nichols, and then we'll search. And I believe that we will see about 2 documents. There you go. And we'll open one of those. Click on the section. And from there we can zoom in, we can print it, we can download it. There is even the option to change it to advance from page to page. It's reminding me that I have to type in a page number. Yes, thank you. Pardon me. I can download. If I click on negative, that might make it easier for you to view. All right, so let's go back to the home screen. And that is really, those are really the basic tools that I wanted to show you how to use in here. Although, as I can show you right there, there are so many more that you can explore. They're very easy to use, and it's a great complement to Ancestry Library, immigration records, and so on. Further down, you'll see you can search maps and photos and records in other locations too. I really encourage you to spend some time working in Heritage Quest, again, because you can use it from the comfort of your home, and explore their research aids, and those interactive maps. I have enjoyed spending this time with you, and I look forward to working with you again, and please do take some time to look at the attachments as well. I will talk to you soon and look forward to seeing you visit our library. Okay, take care. Thank you.